Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And there you have it. The opening kickoff is in the air, and we are off and running. The Young and Norvelle Show coming to you from our Tuesday home. You know it, you love it. Man, it is a steamy Mandarin area side of town. I'm sure it's that way everywhere. We've had some rain over here in Mandarin, and, man, the rain ended. The sun came out, and it is steamy. But what do you expect on July 1st? Hi, everybody. Terry Norvelle coming to you live from Mandarin. We are inside, of course, Hurricane Jointon Creek. You know the location, right by the bridge here. And it's just a fun atmosphere, good place to hang out. Family, friends, after-school activities, after-school games. They do it all year. Or a couple guys just getting together to watch some ball. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of things really well here at Hurricane Wings and Grill here in Jointon Creek. We're in the heart of Mandarin. You know it if you know it. If you don't, you cannot. You can't go wrong coming by and enjoying a meal, cold drink, whatever you fancy at Hurricane Grill and Wings in Mandarin. Special thanks to Josh and Callie, the owners and the operators. They've been really good to our show, and we appreciate their support. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to. Casey Kurtz, of course, driving the ship back in world headquarters. We'll get Casey on a lot today. We hope to hear from our buddy Kade Kistner. We like to do our baseball talk. Kade Kistner, of course, the Sports Illustrated baseball publisher. Guy really knows the game. And MLB is really getting fun, man. We are like 12 games. Everybody's got about 12 games left. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, everybody will stop for the All-Star break. So it is right around the corner. And there are a lot of decisions that have to be made. Are you number one, front office personnel with Major League Baseball? There's always those, Casey, I don't know if you can jump in here. There's probably going to be, by next Sunday, 10, 12 organizations, franchises that do we buy? Do we sell? Where are we? Are we close enough to a play? Can we get to the third wild card? It's a tough call. It can be a tough call, I think, for management. A franchise like the Kansas City Royals. The Royals are kind of going the wrong way, but they're still only 4.5 games out. Do they buy? Do they sell? Is it worth it? Do they? Tough decisions have to be made here soon. We'll talk to Kade Kistner, hopefully about 5:30, about a lot of Major League Baseball stuff. As we have our baseball talk, we try to do it Tuesday at about 5:30. A lot to get to. Want to introduce some Jaguar Talk. And actually, I'm getting a text right now from Kade. He looks like he will not be able to make it today, but we've got a lot of the news and notes. He's caught with an airplane cancellation. We've all been there. Literally just got that because Kade saw the show firing up. So, but we'll persevere. We've got a lot of baseball talk to tee up here. Want to lead things off a little bit with the Jaguars, and nothing real earth-shattering here. Just a look ahead, and you look at the franchise, and we're going to then spin off into some sports history. I want to make sure we get into some this date in sports history because there is a very, very, very important birthday that we need to celebrate today. Me, Casey, anybody that's ever cracked a sports talk microphone, anyone that has ever cracked sat in front of a sports podcast, streaming show, very, very, very important birthday today. Casey Kurtz, if you're back at the studio, would you have, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you have any idea what I just teased a little bit? Very, very, very important birthday today for anyone in the sports radio, sports streaming, sports podcast, Any idea, Casey, where I'm going with this? Any idea?
I'm gonna go big picture and say like ESPN or the internet, something like that.
Very close. Very, very, very close. We'll get to that in a few moments in our sports history. But yeah, very, very, very close. Literally a huge birthday. We have to look back, and it's amazing the industry that was born on this day, how big it is. And it really, the tributaries off of the birthday that we're going to talk about, the sports broadcast tributaries are vast. And you wonder, well, let me take a couple steps back. The birthday happened almost out of chance, out of we throw our hands up. It was almost a birthday that spurned this massive sports broadcasting entity. It was almost what the hell? What else do we have? Casey, it was almost a, what do we have to lose? We're dead in the water. I think you're going to enjoy it when I break this down in our sports history. We're going to do it in a moment. Casey, I'd love to get you as well in on this discussion. Jaguars, several weeks away from camp, just like everybody else. You look around at the Jags and you sit here and think, okay, the Jaguars, it went quick. They're 30 years old, right, Casey? They're heading into their 31st season, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
30 years old, the franchise. And when you step back and look at how the NFL is structured, and nobody in the world values parity more than the NFL. Hold that as a backdrop. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, 30 years into their existence, they've never made the Super Bowl. Now, I want to qualify this, Casey. I'm not saying that 30 years in, you should have won a Super Bowl. No. But I'm saying the way the NFL is structured, after 30 years, you should have at least made a Super Bowl appearance. And again, winning the Super Bowl is another animal. I'm not saying that. But, Casey, would you agree the Jacksonville Jaguars cannot go 30 more years and not make an appearance? They've got to make an appearance in the Super Bowl. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be a team in 30 more years if they don't go to the Super Bowl at least once. They'll be the St. Louis
Say that
Jaguars.
again. I think you made a great point. Say that again.
I don't think they'll be a team in 2055 if they haven't gone to the Super Bowl.
55 or whatever. Yeah. I think you know where I'm going with this. The NFL is structured such that if you've had a bad season or a couple of bad seasons, the structure of the NFL is to prop up the bad teams. They think parity is the way to go, and obviously they're the NFL. When I say prop up the bad teams, you look at the reverse order draft. Supposedly, and I get it, you can trade out, as the Jaguars did. You can trade out, but the draft is structured to help the bad get good, right? The worst team is supposed to get the highest draft, the next worst team, right? Now, again, you can trade out of that. Well, salary caps and free agency and the reverse order draft according to your record, and, Casey, even the schedule. And I know a lot of the NFL schedule is set. You've got to play your division teams. But when it comes to your open team, the NFL has a schedule system set up where it benefits the teams that were bad the year before are theoretically supposed to have a little bit of an easier schedule. So everything is set up to make bad teams get good. Does that make sense, Casey?
You're making sense so far.
Yeah. So now, with that said, the Jaguars just rattled off 30 years of NFL football and have never made a Super Bowl appearance. It's hard to do that. I'm not saying win one. Winning is another animal. But you've got to at least, the structure is in place that I think every franchise because two teams make the Super Bowl. Duh. So two teams. There are 32 franchises. Two teams make it. The way the NFL is structured, you should at least make an appearance in the Super Bowl every 20 to 30 years. Is that fair, Casey?
Yeah, I would say so, especially with all the talented, the more and more talent that you see in college football and getting into the league at every position. So yeah, I'll go with you there.
Yeah. With that said, the Jaguars just rattled off 30 years with that. They can't go in. My God, they can't go another 30 years and not make right. They can't be 60 years into this thing and not even have made an appearance. And then you look at the Jaguars will always be joined at the hip with the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
They came at the same time, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? They're always going to be kind of, and as bad as the Panthers are now, and as bad as the Panthers have been, they've made a couple of Super Bowls.
They have.
They've made a couple of Super Bowls. Ooh. So you look at the Jaguars and you look at the rest of the NFL in terms of getting to it. I'm not saying win it. Win it that's another level. To get to the game, you've got to get to the game. Every 25 to 30 years, every franchise should get to that game. Maybe not win it, but get to that game. You look at the NFL right now, there are four franchises, Casey, that have never reached the Super Bowl. Cleveland, Detroit. Now, those are old school guys. Now, those old school franchises, they did have success before the Super Bowl era, but they haven't made it. So Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, which has an asterisk because they're basically a new franchise. Houston, and then there's Jacksonville. And then there's Jacksonville. You look at a franchise like Cleveland, Super Bowl era, they've made 3 FC championship games. They just can't get, or they couldn't get past, I guess, Elway and the Broncos. Detroit, probably the losingest franchise in obviously in modern Super Bowl era. Houston's got their asterisk because they're new, and then there's Jacksonville. And Jacksonville has made what, KC? 2 AFC championship or 3 AFC championship games? They've gotten
2.
At least 2. Yeah, 2. They've gotten to the franchise here, they've got to get to a Super Bowl, don't they? Even if they don't win it, you've got to get to a Super Bowl soon. With everything set in place by the NFL to turn bad into good. And you know that case. The NFL, I always say this, if we broke into the NFL like Watergate tonight in the head offices in New York, we broke in and looked around. We got the files out. We looked at the whiteboard. We looked at the basic tenet of the NFL is parity. Parity. They want parity. The league is structured for parity. The Jaguars have. Casey, how many more years do you think? Is it 5, 7, 4, 10? If the Jaguars have got to make an appearance at some point after 30 years, right? Before, as you said, gosh darn, how many more years could the Jaguars go without getting good, really good, and making a Super Bowl before people say, maybe this thing just isn't going to work out here? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the stadium will obviously calm that idea, but
Yes.
I mean, if you're talking another 15 to 20 years and you go to one AFC championship game, I bet there will be some serious frustration and probably not make it.
And boy, you hit it all. You hit it on the head too, man. You're way ahead of the discussion point. That stadium is going to buy. And I'm not saying the Jaguars are, looking to leave or about to leave. That stadium, though, is a really nice anchor. It really buys you some time. But if we fast forward, let's say the stadium gets done here in 2 years, and 12 to 13 years from the time the stadium. If we fast forward 15 years and they still haven't made a Super Bowl, made it, not won it, but made it, Casey, at some point you got to go, holy guacamole, what's going on here with the Jaguars?
Yep. Yeah, it'll be bad. Yeah. It'll be really bad.
I'll ask you this, Casey. If we fast forward 15 years and the Jaguars have not made an appearance still, and they're looking at 42, 43, 45 years of existence, you got to believe Shad Khan is not still the owner at that point, right?
Well, I think that's hard to say just because what will a NFL franchise be worth at that point?
Yeah.
So why would you sell? I mean, that would be
But why would you sell? Why would you sell is almost like the homeowner that says, well, damn, I've got $250,000 worth of equity. Well, you've only got that when you sell it.
True.
Until you sell it, it's just a fun cocktail party discussion, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If the Jaguars were to bang out another 12 to 15 years and not make the Super Bowl, I'm not saying that Shad Khan and his company and companies would be swayed by public sentiment, but my God, can you imagine fast forwarding another 10 years and the Jaguars haven't made a Super Bowl, 10, 15 years? The public sentiment would be pitchforks with fire, wouldn't it?
I mean, you would think so. Absolutely. With the money spent on the stadium and all that, yeah, I would agree.
All right, as we start going to break, we won't go right now, but as we start, I'm not going to unveil our entire, I've got some fun This Day in Sports History, but Casey, I want to go back to the one I teased. And it affects me, it affects you, it affects sports, it affects radio, TV, streaming. It affects a lot of stuff that we don't even know, I think. Sports apps, things that may come down the road. How about this, Casey? This, and I only do this one. We'll come back to sports history in a little bit. This date in sports history, 1987. So it wasn't 100,000 years ago. The first ever 24-hour all sports format for a radio station. The button was switched. WFAN AM in New York City said, you know what we're going to do? And Casey, let me back up. And I know you've studied and you're lucid in all this. WFAN in 1987, WFAN AM, New York City, was one of about 1 billion radio stations in New York City. They had been, like every other station, swinging and praying and changing formats and trying to get their part of the pie to make money. WFAN swung and missed 1 million formats. And Casey, the story goes, and it's been corroborated, I think. The story goes that WFAN in New York City, AM, they had changed format. They had tried everything to gather market share, which means to make money. They've tried everything. They went this format and this music genre and that music. And I would guess they went Spanish and they went rock and roll and they went easy listening and Casey, the word is back in 87, WFAN had tried everything and they literally were on their last leg. They were about to turn the lights out. And the word is that somebody in a meeting, one of the final meetings for WFAN in 1987 said, hey, I got an idea. It's crazy, but what the hell? We're going out of business anyway. I got an idea. Why don't we do sports shows, broadcasts, pick up games, sports talk? Why don't we do this thing? Why don't we just switch and go sports 24/7, 365? Casey, I don't know if you've ever heard that story, but literally that is pretty much the story of how this little new industry, and it's still new relatively. 1987 is not that long ago. This little industry called sports talk radio was born. They were the first ever to say, you know what? And the word is, it was almost a spoof. What the hell? We're going out of business. We're all losing our jobs. What the hell? Let's do sports 24. And guess what? It caught on like wildfire, Casey.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Have you heard that story?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. It's only been like less than 40 years since that happened.
It really is. It really is. And I know we kid around about age, and I'm a lot older than you and blah, blah, blah. But sports talk radio in the whole totalitarian of every 40, it's still a baby. It's still a baby. It really is. But it was a spoof. 24. No. And you know what? I don't know if. Keep in mind, in 1987, the television big brother of that, ESPN, was barely getting going. I mean, ESPN TV was born in 79, and they couldn't find programming. They swung and missed, and they found the NCAA tournament, which really helped ESPN TV. But, I mean, think about it. 1987, it wasn't like everybody said, gosh, let's just copy ESPN and do that on radio. I mean, ESPN was still cutting its teeth in 87, you know? It's hard to believe. Not hard to believe. It's really interesting to see how far a brand new, and you know, Casey, it's hard nowadays to think of something new, truly new. You know what I mean? I mean, 24-hour sports radio still is new. I mean, that people probably before that, if you took that, thank God WFAN's management was open-minded enough. Now, Casey, were they open-minded enough, or were they about to turn the lights out and said, what the hell, who cares?
Might as well.
We're going down. Let's go down and have fun.
Yeah, it's probably that.
It was probably that. And this is along the lines, I still can't talk about it. You know, I've invented a new sport, right?
Unconfirmed, because if, you know, I mean, you say that, but, I mean, there's no real proof.
Well, comedian / business attorney Mike Freed should be back. He should be back. He's on his European summer vacation, so he's been gone for 2 weeks. I knew this. He should be back on Monday. I'm going to start kind of talking to him about my idea. It's got to get protected, Casey. I don't want it to be unprotected before I go blabbermouth, okay?
Sure.
You have no idea, do you? Dude, this is going to be huge.
I have
this
no
little pickleball thing, it's cute. My new sport is going to be international. I don't think pickleball is international, right? It's pretty much.
I would imagine it's probably not. It kind of feels like a not all inclusive sport would be my way to describe pickleball.
Pickleball's big. I'm not going to lie, but the new sport that I've invented, we laugh at pickleball. Ha ha. We laugh at it. How about that though? 1987. Sports Talk Radio was born, and look at it now. Everything, because what we're doing right now is streaming. I put that under the sports. If Sports Talk Radio hadn't popped up, I don't think we'd be streaming sports, would we?
Correct.
I mean, I think all this is, I think all this is, byproducts, podcasting, and And to think that Sports Talk Radio, the massive industry that was born in 1987, was born out of just we quit. They WFAN basically quit in 1987 and said, "Man, there are a billion radio stations in New York City. We've tried every format. We just can't crack the code to get enough money to make enough money." And it was literally a spoof almost. Let's do sports 24/7. And what a spoof it was. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. I'll probably go ahead and finish off our this date in sports history. A lot of Major League Baseball. Boy, baseball is getting fun, man. We're closing in on the All-Star break. We've passed the halfway point. The All-Star break always is about 10 to 15 games past the actual. Obviously, there's 162 games. So the 81 game point, that was passed days ago. And everybody's got about 12 games left. So we've passed the halfway point. Things are really starting to kind of come into focus. We'll talk Major League Baseball as we go. We've talked some Jaguars, of course, some other stuff we'll get into. What a good day for college football, I think. College sports in general, but college football. We'll talk about why that is. That and a whole lot more. Casey Kurtz producing. I'm Terry Norvelle. We hope you're from Cade, or actually Cade's out today. We'll talk some Major League Baseball in his stead around 5:30 for sure. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us. It's a Tuesday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show. Woo! Look at that cloud. Get where you're going and get quick. But be safe, folks. We come back with more Young and Norvelle Show right here on coming to you live from Hurricane Julian Creek.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
All right, we are back. Boy, that is an ominously mean-looking cloud, but that speaks to where we're at on the calendar, July 1st. Holy cow. Once we get through the 4th, I consider it football season. Welcome back to the Young and Norvelle show. Terry Norvelle here, sitting at our Tuesday home, actually. We're here every single Tuesday. Hurricane Georgia Creek, best wings, obviously well over 30 flavors of wings. The biggest problem you've got when you come to Hurricane here and you order wings is what flavor are you going with? They've got well over 30 different flavors, from mild, naked, mild, all the way to nuclear hot. I don't know how people eat that, but I've got some buddies that love it hot. I was here for lunch last Wednesday, I think it was. I went Monterey chicken quesadilla, and they were unbelievable. Great wing selection, of course. Hurricane Grill and Wings. Obviously, you can't have that in your name and not have a great wing selection. But I always tell people, do not sleep on the tacos and the quesadillas. Great stuff. I love these chicken quesadillas. And they're big, thick, and hearty. Man, they fill you up. I guarantee you that. Welcome back. We take it until 6 o'clock. We got a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to get to some this date in sports history. But let me go over some Major League Baseball situations going on with afternoon baseball in the majors. One game is in the top of the 4th. Yankees, they need a win. The Yankees staggered about 2 weeks ago. They've kind of righted the ship a little bit, but boy, the Yankees are being chased right now by Toronto, who they're playing right now. Yankees lead, top of the 4th. Yankees 2-0 over Toronto. It looks like they've got a couple on with 2 out. We'll track that game. They are playing baseball. Toronto and Tampa Bay are both chasing down the Yankees right now, putting a lot of pressure on the Yankees. New York has scuffled a little bit, but they've righted the ship a little bit. Judge got cold all of a sudden, Aaron Judge, but Yankees leading in the only active game we've got going on right now, 2-0 Yankees over Toronto. And let me double check my notes here. Yankees, Toronto only 2 back right now of the Yankees. Tampa Bay, the Rays 1.5. So both Toronto and Tampa are really putting some pressure on, or have put pressure on the Yankees this entire first half, as we're about 12 games away. Yankees leading 2-0, 4th inning. Yankees visiting team batting with a couple on with 2 outs. We'll track that game. A couple of other afternoon games have been postponed. I don't see canceled yet, so they're going to sit around the ballpark. Postponed right now, San Diego at Philadelphia. Philadelphia has rebounded, and even though they got swept over the weekend by Houston, what a weird series that was. Great pitching by both teams. Philadelphia is playing better baseball. They now lead the NL East by a couple of games over the Mets. Boy, we'll get to the Mets in a moment. They have really gone in the tank, but postponed right now, San Diego at Philadelphia. That should be a fun series. Also in a postponement right now, Detroit on the road at Washington. Detroit, man, I consider Detroit and Houston 2 of the really good teams. Obviously, they lead their both of their divisions, but man, they just don't get a lot of publicity. They just go out and win baseball games. So we've got a couple of postponed games in Major League Baseball, and one game that now has moved to the bottom of the 4th. The Yankees still lead Toronto. Yankees, the visiting team, 2-0. A bunch of games start in the 6 o'clock hour. A couple games actually. Minnesota, Miami, and St. Louis, Pittsburgh. We'll get to the rest of the schedule, but I wanted to get you out there, or get those that one game that's in progress out, and then 2 are postponed right now, as the MLB All-Star game is on the 15th, I think it is, Tuesday the 15th. Sunday the 13th, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday is the final game for everybody in the first half for Major League Baseball. Everybody then will stop. Most of those Sunday games will be afternoon games to give the players travel time that are going to the All-Star game. Obviously, Monday is the big festivities. You'll have the Home Run Derby. Tuesday, the 15th of July, will be the All-Star game. Everybody takes Wednesday, Thursday to reconvene, and then the second half of the season will start on that Friday. So, a couple things we want to get to. This date in sports history, we want to go back to this. And, Casey, I know you enjoy this. You learn as we go. We all learn as we go. This date sports history, we're going to run it back, Casey. Sometimes you get mad when I don't run it. When I say we're running it back, we only run it back like 10 years, 15 years. Can we run it back to 1859? Is that far enough back? Does that qualify?
It's about as far back as you can run it.
Yeah, 1859. Thank you very much. The very first ever intercollegiate baseball game was played. Okay, baseball college game. 1859. Amherst was taking on Pittsfield, not Pittsburgh, Casey. Pittsfield. Okay. So first ever college baseball game. And the final score, it tells me, A, it must have been pretty exciting. But B, the powers that be must have said, Casey, we got to do something to trim this down. Your final score, first collegiate baseball game ever, 1859. Amherst just snuck by Pittsfield, 66-32, Casey. 6-6-3-2.
Huh.
They got by him. They got by him. We got to do something.
Had to change the rules right after that one.
Yeah, we got to change the rules somehow. I don't know. What do you think? If you stepped into the batter's box, was that a run? Did you get a run just by stepping into the bat? I don't know.
Maybe every hit was a run, and like if you hit a double, it was 2 runs, something like that.
Yeah, maybe every base you got to was a run.
Yeah,
I don't know. 66-32, Amherst off and running over Pittsfield, but I gotta believe they had to change the rules a little bit. All right, let's go back to. We're still going to run it back pretty good. 1904, is that running it back, Casey?
It's pretty far.
04. First ever Summer Olympic Games in the United States. I'll just give you 2 or 3 guesses. What city hosted the first ever United States Summer Olympics in 04? 04. I'll give you a couple guesses.
Okay, it would have to be somewhere that existed
Big
in
city.
04.
Yeah, big city.
How about Chicago?
Not Chicago. Very good guess. Not Chicago. We'll take that out. But again, it's a big city. It's not like Lake Placid or, some little small city. It's a big city.
How about
Chicago? Good
Boston?
Guess. Boston. No, we wouldn't give it to those Bostonians. Nope. I'll give you one more, and you're doing good. This is a tough one. Nothing screams the answer here. It's not like, how did you miss that? It was the sister city of Rome or whatever, where the Olympics were invented. No, I don't think there's a tip-off to this city, but it's a big city.
All
city.
right. How about
great Major League Baseball city? I'll give you that clue. It's a great there's 4 or 5 what you consider really good baseball cities, and not New York. I'll tell you, it's not New York to help you out.
Good baseball.
And you already guessed, got Sean, Chicago and Boston. Actually, it's probably the best.
What you got? I'll take that clue.
I was going to say it's probably. I'll give you a clue. I think they've got the most World Series wins behind the New York Yankees. Baseball city, man. Red. Think red.
Yeah,
the color red.
That's what I was thinking. It's St. Louis.
St. Louis. How about that? How did you get that? How do you get that very first? Do you say, hey, we want it. We're going to do good. We promise to put on a good show. I mean, how do you get that?
Yeah,
the first time?
I think it'd be like, we got some space out here in St. Louis, and they were like, okay,
yeah, we got a little space.
We can run around out there.
Yeah, we got a little space. All right, staying in Major League Baseball, and I won't bore you guys with this year, 1941 in Major League Baseball. I think many people consider it the greatest year in the history of Major League Baseball because of the 2 players that went head-to-head. We'll get to that, but that's not today. This date, 1941, Joe DiMaggio tied Wee Willie Keeler. You've heard of Wee Willie, haven't you? Wee Willie Keeler.
It's a good name.
Yeah, and at the time, Joe DiMaggio in 1941, of course, that was the year he had his 56-game hitting streak. this date, 1941, he tied Wee Willie Keeler, who held the record at 44 consecutive games with a base hit. 44. So DiMaggio. Do you know the Casey? Do you know the significance of MLB 1941? Just ungodly, and I'll let you look it up if you feel like it on your computer. 1941. You had, how about this? In the same freaking season, the same freaking summer of baseball, going into the World Series, you had Joe DiMaggio had one of the great seasons in the history of baseball. He had a 56-game hitting streak, along with just gaudy numbers. And then you had a guy by the name of Ted Williams in the same season. Ted Williams hit 406, the last guy to hit over 400.
How about that?
So, two incredible seasons, DiMaggio and Williams. And I always forget this, Casey. You can look it up and help us if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, they both were in the American League. Somebody got the AL MVP, and either DiMaggio had a 56-game hitting streak and did not win MVP, or Ted Williams went 406 and
yeah,
I can't remember who won it. But
you want to guess?
Lost it
Because I know who it was.
I think DiMaggio won it, and some people say now they both had gaudy stats, obviously gaudy stats. But I think DiMaggio would have won it, and maybe the power of New York City, the Yankees, put him over the top. I'm going to say DiMaggio.
You are correct.
So, do you have their stats there?
Give me a second. I can get them.
Okay. It's just ungodly. Obviously, Joe DiMaggio in 1941 had an incredible stat line. A 56-game hitting streak. It still stands. I'm sure his average was incredible. DiMaggio was a home run hitter as well. He had great. But think about the flip side. Ted freaking Williams hit 406. Can you imagine turning in your play card at the end of a baseball season in 1941 and said, all right, hey, you guys that vote for the MVP, here's my card.
This is,
and he got told,
yeah, this is interesting here now. We might have a conspiracy that we could try to break about 80 years later. Ted Williams, although not winning the MVP, led the league in WAR, runs, home runs, walks, average, on base, slugging, OPS, and intentional walks. He led the league in all of those and did not win the MVP.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, 1941 is considered the great year, and then those two guys. Now, DiMaggio had similar numbers, but Williams' raw numbers, wouldn't you agree, were better?
Yeah, it's not even close, really.
Yeah.
I mean, again, 30 homers, 125 driven in for DiMaggio's a nice year, 357 average. Ted Williams, though, 37, 120, and 406. I think you got to give it to that guy.
My God, that's rough math. That's a 50-point batting averaging higher.
Yeah, for sure.
My God. And Ted Williams, at the end of the 41 season, went home and said, the baseball writers or whoever voted, they thought I had the second best season in 1941.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
It's ungodly. And I don't know if it says anything where you're reading at, Casey, but I think it's conventional wisdom. Boston, keep in mind, Boston, Ted Williams, obviously a Red Sox. Boston, they're not the Boston that won a couple titles in the last 25 years. No. They never could get by the big bad Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And conventional wisdom is they're the freaking New York Yankees, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and now there's this guy named DiMaggio, and he got not that he didn't have a crazy season, but Ted Williams should have won that.
Oh, no doubt. Not even close.
Ted Williams should have freaking won
Not even
that.
close.
It
Not
reminds
even
me,
close.
that always reminds me historically, and obviously I wasn't around back then. I know I'm old, but not back then. That baseball season always reminds me, DiMaggio, Williams, who should have won it, blah, blah, blah. Great. 2 great seasons. two of the great seasons ever in baseball. That reminds me of, I think it was 1939 in terms of Academy Awards in movies. You had two movies that popped up in 1939, and only one could win Picture of the Year. You had Gone with the Wind, and then you had Wizard of Oz. I mean, one of those movies was not the movie of the year, you know?
Yeah.
Ungodly.
Trying to figure out which one was. Do you remember which one was?
I can't, that one, you know what? That one, I can't remember, but I think most movie experts will tell you that the one of those two movies that won it, their movie came out earlier in the year, and the other one came out a little bit later, so it might not have got as much.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I cannot remember. But, I mean, can you imagine Casey Kurtz? You've watched them both. You've watched every movie. You're a member of the movie panel. You have to make the decision, best film 1939, Wizard of Oz or Gone with the Freaking Wind. I mean, that's a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have picked Wizard of Oz, but your winner was indeed Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. And it was this big, monstrous production. But Wizard of Oz, remember, part of that movie, if you watch the original, halfway through the movie, it went color. So color, it kind of introduced.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It it was groundbreaking in that. And you remember some of the stories about the Wizard of Oz? There was
Oh yeah, I wouldn't vote for it now, but knowing all that, but yeah.
And what was the deal?
Which part? There's a lot of kind of goofiness.
I think one of the big stories from Wizard of Oz was, I think it was Buddy Ebsen, who was Jed Clampett on the Hillbillies, and he was a big actor for years. Buddy Ebsen was cast to be the Tin Man. I get which character had green paint. He had to wear. I think it was a Tin Man. Had to have paint.
Okay.
Maybe not green, but like metallic. Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Tin Man, whoever got, and they cast this guy, Buddy Ebsen, who ended up being a star. I mean, Jed Clampett, big star. He got cast, but he had to back out because he was allergic to the paint. They had to paint him every day, you know?
Right.
As the Tin Man. And yeah. How about that? Hey, how many shows are going to tie in today? DiMaggio, Williams, Gone with the Wind, and The Wizard of Oz.
0. It's a heck of a pull that you put all that together kind of on the fly right there, because it does, you know, it does go together.
It really does. It really does. With that, let's take a break. I promise on the other side, we're going to come back, get to the rest of this date in sports history. A lot of other stuff. Got a lot of baseball to talk about. Only a couple. Actually, let me knock this out real quick. This date sports history, finishing it up. 1982. And Casey, I know you're a baseball guy. You're a sports guy. You've got a good knowledge. I'm curious to see or hear your answer to this. This date sports history, 1982. Cal Ripken, the Baltimore shortstop, obviously known best for consecutive games played. He broke Lou Gehrig, right? He broke the Lou Gehrig. I'm not maybe as impressed by that stat as some people. I think Cal Ripken was a good, solid player, but I don't know. I love longevity. I get it. He had to answer the bell.
It's a hot
but
take
does
here,
that
Terry.
make him – say that again?
This is a hot take here. I mean, you know, he's a legend.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Is that, to me, a 248 hitting, slick fielding shortstop that never got hurt could do that, and I wouldn't be as impressed. And I get it, Ripken, but Ripken's numbers aren't crazy good, other than he played in over 2,000 straight games.
I mean, my argument to you, Terry, would be, how many days in a row have you worked?
I know. Shut your filthy mouth, Casey.
Because this guy worked at the highest of levels for 2,000 days in a row.
Yeah, but the guy down at the warehouse could say that too.
I'm not arguing. I'm with you there, but I'm asking you, old TV and radio talker. You work so hard judging Cal Ripken. Settle down.
I think if I look back at my career, I think there have been several periods where I banged out 3-4 weeks in a row.
Okay, so you're only what 3-4 weeks, 28 days. You're only 2,000 something days behind Cal Ripken.
Hard now. Hey, did I mention hard work 3-4 weeks in a row? I think I've done that a couple times.
I mean, okay. You want an award or something?
Yeah. Why I oughta. Okay, last one. This date sports history, 1997. Casey, I don't know if you were around necessarily. But
I was born in 97.
97. You saw the footage. Hopefully not in the crib. It was shocking. This date, 1997, in sports history. Mike Tyson decided that he was probably going to lose the fight with Evander Holyfield. So in a clinch, he decided to bite Evander Holyfield's ear. Basically, the lower part of the lobe he bit off. You remember that?
Yeah, well, not in the crib as you put it, but familiar with it now. And that was a decision. Without a doubt, a decision was made that day.
Is Mike Tyson, in the boxing parlance, if Mike Tyson biting in a clinch, biting the ear, probably knowing the game is going to be over, the boxing match, right? Is that the same as you're getting the hell beat out of you in Monopoly and you just grab the board and throw it? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
As we welcome Patrick Young. Pat, you know what I'm talking about, right? In case I want you to follow up as well. But isn't that what that is? Or you bump the board. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we can't finish the game. Right, Pat?
That's what little kids, and I won't say that I haven't done that maybe once in my life. But
Me too.
I'm just thinking, and because Mike Tyson biting the ear or biting a person in general on a sports setting is not what's the word? It's not unique.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez, holy crap, it's coming down. Luis Suarez, I think he did like two instances where he's bit somebody in soccer.
Yeah, he's a known biter, yeah.
I didn't know
He's a serial biter.
Really? I did not know we've got a serial biter in soccer. And guys, Casey, I'll let you lead off. Aren't we taught at a young age? There's just 3 or 4 things as a youngster. We're talking newborn, probably through the first 2 or 3 years of life. Number one, we try don't pick your nose. Hey, no, put your finger down. Don't pick your nose, right? As a 1-year-old, 2-year-old. Don't play with your food, right? Yeah. And I think right there along the lines of what we're talking about, and I think a first grade teacher and a kindergarten teacher will stand up and agree. Hey, no biting. You just can't bite somebody, right?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that standard?
Yeah, I'd say it's human decency for sure.
Yeah, that's something a little kid, a little toddler in VBK, or maybe even up to kindergarten. Nowadays a lot of parents aren't disciplining them boys and girls. You know what'll stop them from biting somebody? They bite. You give them a little flick. Give them a flick right in the. You flick that lip. You flick that lip, and they will never bite you again.
Yes. Now,
not a hard, terrible, try to kill you. Like you play that stupid knuckle game we used to do in high school. Not that hard. We're not trying to. Just enough to be like, oh gosh, I don't want to feel that again. I probably shouldn't bite anybody.
Yes. You just can't go around biting people. I mean, unless your name is Count Dracula, right? I mean, maybe Count Dracula can bite somebody, but you just can't go around biting people. It's just not cool, right? Just not cool. By the way, a bad precedent was set because when Tyson did that to Holyfield, they did suspend his purse. He made like $30 million. They held back like $3 million while it was being investigated, but he ended up getting all of his money. He got suspended, but he got reinstated. So he really didn't get any punishment. There was really no punishment.
Wow. now, I mean, I do like this evolved. He's evolved. I'm not gonna say better or worse. This new evolved Mike Tyson,
he's likable.
Is much more controlled and aware.
He's really likable.
But he still bit a person, you know?
Yeah. A sweaty earlobe he bit. Ugh. I think he bit it off, didn't he? Didn't Tyson?
Yeah, he bit it off.
Yeah, he bit the damn thing off.
Bit it and spit it out. Spit it right on the ring, on the mat.
Hey, speaking of guys, I didn't fall for it. I had somebody give me the code, I guess, or whatever you call it. But even though I don't blame Tyson for this, how bad was last year? Was it last year the Tyson versus who did he fight? Jake Paul or whatever? Wasn't that Tyson?
Yes, it was on Netflix.
Yeah, how bad was that? I don't blame him all for that, but what a bad. The whole country was pissed off at that whole thing. Remember that? Remember how bad that was?
Well, this is what it's so crazy about that. You know, did I actually get certified as a real boxing win?
I don't think so.
Well, if you see, I saw this recently, early before all these basketball contracts were happening, that Jake Paul is now ranked in boxing.
See that. I did see that because he won a fight or he won something the other day, right? Very recently.
He must have, and I mean, you got to give the guy the credit. If he does actually become a real contender for the belt, say what you want about how he got to success. You can't fake your way through fighting someone who else is a real, because boxing is not just I'm stronger than you. It's chess. It is. Yeah. Boxing is chess.
Yeah. Interesting. But Tyson has become. I always liked Tyson. Just in generalities. I mean, I knew he was a tough kid. He was raised on the street basically. So I felt for his background. I always liked Tyson, but obviously, the accusations he had, he went to prison for certain things that aren't positive at all. I get all that. I always kind of liked Tyson, the spectacle. But obviously the ear biting, the sexual assault allegations, the prison time, that turned a lot of people. You know what helped him? And I don't know if he just stumbled into this or not in terms of rehabbing his personality and his himself, was he made those movies. Those what were those honeymoon movies?
Hangover.
The Hangover.
Hangover. Yeah, and
Hangover.
Here's this wacko with a tattoo permanently on his face, but he remember he did those movies and he was with the tiger in the room.
Yeah,
but
who knows how much money he made? He made off not even just the movie, but then the residuals of the appearances, the signings, and I would not blame him because he wouldn't be the first one to do this, but he could profit off of biting Evander Holyfield's ear in this day and age.
Oh,
he could, right?
I mean, think of the money he could make if he wanted to spoof profit around Halloween. I mean, everything we just talked about, Count Dracula, he could make a fortune, but he just. I've never heard it. Cannibal Cookie Monster. Yeah, Cannibal Cookie Monster. There you go. I think he also, in case you can help us with this, I think Tyson started. I don't know if he still does it. Somebody told me one time that he started a podcast or something, and it's really good. It's really funny and good.
Possibly.
I don't know, Mike Tyson. I want to
Terry. At this point, Penny has a podcast.
Yes.
Everybody has one. Yep. And if you don't know who Penny is, guys, that's Terry's dog.
Yeah.
Sweet dog.
I think she's on right now, opposite me right now. Boy. Hey, and by the way, Patrick, you just joined us a few minutes ago. One of our This Date in Sports Histories, 1987, WFAN in New York, a small little AM station that was about to go under. They never could make money. They never could get the right format. They were about to switch the lights off, and they switched in 87. Somebody said, let's go all sports. What the hell? We're about to go out of business. And a new industry was born. How about that? You just never know. You just never know.
Wait, who?
WFAN, a little small AM station in New
York.
In 87, they were the first ever 24-hour all sports, and it was basically a spoof. They knew they were going out of business, so somebody in the meeting said, let's do all sports. And a new industry took off, and everything spurred off that. Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Incredible.
How about that? What do you got going on today, Pat? What's been going on? Anything exciting?
No, because I don't want to kill the mood of the show, because both things that I've really done today, they're great things, but very somber. Yeah, so I don't.
Okay.
I'll just say that foundation stuff. I was doing foundation stuff. How about that?
Okay. Casey, do you think we should not dig into that? Right? That sounds kind of.
I'd leave it alone if I were you.
We'll leave it alone.
If you want it, I'll give it.
No, don't make me cry. I don't want to make me cry right now on the air.
I know.
Maybe read the room, Terry.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's go to break. We'll come back with some baseball talk. A lot of stuff going on as we're getting close to the Major League Baseball All-Star game. That and a whole lot more. Pat's probably got some stuff. Casey's got some stuff. We'll talk some stuff on the other side. Young and Norvelle show continuing here on a Tuesday. Kind of a cloudy Tuesday, but it is July 1st. Hot summer day in Jacksonville. Back after this quick timeout.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Are Martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
All right, we're back. Hour number 2 kicking off. We're live at, of course, you know it. If it's Tuesday, it is Hurricane Grill and Wings. I had lunch here a week ago and dined on the Monterey Chicken Quesadilla. I love quesadilla, and they make them big and hearty here at Hurricane Georgia Creek. Of course,
that's a drive for you, Terry.
Say that again?
I said that's a drive for you from where you live.
Yeah, I was over here on some business in Mandarin and swung in and had lunch last week. I had the big old, I've had it before. I love their quesadilla. I love their tacos and quesadillas. Obviously, they're known for their wings here at Hurricanes. But, man, this quesadilla, and they're big. I mean, you're full. You know, sometimes quesadillas are thin. No, not here. They make them big and thick. I love them here.
I hate giving free advertisement, but the Chipotle quesadillas are pretty darn good.
Is that right? Man. They're big time, huh?
Pretty darn good.
They are big time. Hey, we had, before we get back into the show, Hardcore Pat, and if you got some stuff, fine. We got some baseball stuff. Huge upset today at Wimbledon. And you may be saying, Wimbledon? Yeah. It's just getting started, obviously, around the 4th of July. You always have Wimbledon. How about this?
Yep.
American Coco Gauff just moments ago became just the 3rd woman in the Open era to lose in the first round at Wimbledon, immediately following winning the French Open, which she won a couple weeks ago. Gauff was eliminated easily, basically, in straight sets, 7-6. Now, that did go tiebreaker. And then 6-1 by unseeded Daniela Yastremska. A Ukrainian, unseeded Ukrainian, knocked off number 2 ranked Coco Gauff in the first round of it.
I think that means she broke her serve at least 3 or 4 times.
What, the 6-1?
Which is very hard to do in tennis. Yeah, 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, wow. So Gauff,
it's hard to do and break someone's serve.
Yeah, Gauff it looked like she must have broke her spirit in the first set, 7-6. They went it looks like deep into that, obviously a tiebreaker. But then, my God, she got demolished 6-1 by an unseeded Ukraine.
I got a good question for both of you guys. I want to hear your opinion. Which sport, like individual kind of sport that, you know, you can still be attached to a team, but more so it's all about the individual. Which one of those, because I don't want to give you a head to think of anything, is the toughest mental game? Like the sport that requires the most mental toughness.
But individual, but it could be a
individual. Team? Yes.
Ryder Cup, if it's got to be a team, maybe I'll say Ryder Cup.
Okay. I didn't think about that one. Casey?
I'm going swimming.
Ooh, yeah. That's a great
relay.
Answer.
Yeah. Or track and field.
I was thinking tennis, too, you know, because they have the whole no coach thing. But I think I agree with you, Casey. I wasn't even thinking about, man, you got to stay so locked in. It's they don't deal with, you know, momentum shifts or, you know, a lot of things that we just enjoy in those other sports so much. That's why it's so hard for fans to really get into it outside of just the Olympics, obviously.
Interesting. You know, Patrick, you just brought up something, in case you want to hear your thoughts as well. You just got me thinking, and I do not know why. I'm going to bring this up. I hate bringing things up that I don't know why, but maybe you guys can.
I love it, man. It's the best conversation.
Yeah, I'm with you. You mentioned tennis. We just talked about Coco Gauff, Wimbledon. Why is it that a tennis, it's against the tennis rules. If you're in the middle of a match, you can't get any signals or anything. If your coach is in the third row, your coach can be sitting in the third row, which they are a lot of times at U.S. Open and Wimbledon and French and Australia. They cannot signal or coach you. You'll get a penalty. Why is that? I wonder why.
Do you remember when? I know both of you guys remember the most, probably one of the most historic, because I don't know past of this event, with Serena Williams freaking out when she was getting accused of getting signs from her coach.
Yes.
Man, that was a blow up. But I get it. Like, it's a code you're forced to live by, but also a code you have to you accept, because that everyone has to do it. So for anyone to question your integrity, and especially as great as she is or was at the time, everyone would freak out if they're getting accused of that.
But let me ask you this though, and in case you jump in, if you've got some thought, why? If I'm the Yankees are playing right now, if I want to look into my dugout and my batting coach says, "Hey man, keep your elbow's flying out right between pitches," well, basketball. Why does anybody have any idea why that is that way in tennis? I don't.
And then second to that, Terry, now that in a different angle, what does scouting look like for tennis players?
I think they're scouting. Yeah, sure. First serve.
I'm just so curious what it looks like for them, because it definitely is different than a team game of football or basketball film.
And guys, help me out with this. Going back to, and I'll get back to your scouting in a minute, Patrick. I think that's interesting. Tennis, individual tennis, singles tennis, golf. I don't know this for a fact, but I don't. Yeah. I think Tiger Woods can be walking from the 5th to the 6th hole, and if he's scuffling, I think his coach, his swing coach, could talk to him, couldn't he? I don't think there's a penalty in golf.
His caddy. That's why.
His caddy.
Every guy is different. Yeah. Every guy is different with how they do things with their. But his coach is there, so as they're walking, absolutely. Even if they have to be outside the lines or ropes, But that sport's so different.
There's got to be a reason why coach. Tennis.
If you're going off your baseball analogy, I would say if you're the Yankees playing the Red Sox, they could bring in 12 different pitchers that you need to kind of have a conversation about. Your tennis opponent's never changing. You know what he or she is going to do.
Great point. Another fantastic
rules.
Point.
I mean, sports where you can interchange people, like even take basketball or whatever, like they're bringing somebody in off the bench. Football could bring somebody in. Like
that is a
tennis, you know what you're doing.
Shit, Casey, look at hockey. Man, they're bringing them off in the middle of the game, middle of action.
Exactly.
I never could figure that out.
Dude, they do it so well, man. You can't even tell.
Patrick, you said a moment ago, you brought up, I wonder what kind, or is there scouting in tennis against your next opponent? Yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of scouting. Seriously, I would imagine you would want to watch, you and your coach or whoever would want to watch your next opponent. Okay, what does she do or he do? What do they do on their second serve? Is it a slice close to the midline? Is it, what do they do on their first serve? And I think if
even something as simple as this, Terry, having some extra eyes to tell you if you should challenge a ball in or out at all.
Yeah,
it's so far away.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
To make that call when the challenge.
That is a good point. But I could see scouting in tennis where if you can pick out something and say, hey, on that girl's second serve, she likes to hit it safely. Maybe you can move one step to the right or one step to the left. That may give you an advantage. But what you just said was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Huh.
Right.
In terms of
you're just going against one opponent.
Yeah. But Patrick, what you said was interesting. If there's a in or out call near a baseline on the other end of the court, how do you know as the player, should I challenge or not?
Right.
I mean, you're a long way away. In baseball, in football, you've got your other coaches and players saying, hey, challenge that, man. We had a good look at that. Interesting.
Right.
That is
shoot, we're freaking tennis, give them credit here. Their review system is best in all sports.
Yeah. I want to throw this out, Patrick. If you're still with us, we lost you for a second, and Casey as well. We were talking about Wimbledon, the big upset, Coco Gauff upset in round 1 moments ago. I don't know if either one of you guys are old enough to recall, and this was another byproduct of not having a lot of options in terms of sports to watch. But I'm telling you guys, there was a long run, decades run, where Wimbledon, particularly the men's final on Sunday and the women's final on Saturday, but more the men's final on Sunday, Wimbledon was a huge must-see TV Sunday.
Yeah.
It would start about 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And, man, when you had Connors and McEnroe or Borg and McEnroe, tennis, because that was the only game in town at 9 a.m., there weren't 1,000 channels. The entire country watched that damn thing. It was breakfast with breakfast at Wimbledon was massive for decades, man. My family used to love watching that thing.
Yeah.
You remember that, Pat? At all?
I remember. Yeah, I don't remember in growing up the specific tournaments, but my family growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, like we were watching anytime Serena and Venus were playing early in their careers.
Yeah.
And for me, actually, my love for Wimbledon came later in life. So this is a little somber, but I appreciate it because of how I can have, we can look at it now.
Yeah.
But those 2 years in a row, I was in the hospital during Wimbledon.
That's right.
So I watched a lot of tennis. I watched Roger Federer with his runs. I mean, I was like, give me more.
Patrick, it's funny you said that.
It's a beautiful event.
I can remember talking with you a couple of years ago, and you told me that. We were talking, putting a show together or something, and you said, my God, I've watched every match at Wimbledon because it's on all day, morning and all. Yeah.
Well, when I was in the hospital, it was, man, if there's one awesome, like, sports positive, when I was in the hospital that time, man, I got spoiled by NBA finals, NHL finals, softball, baseball. I got to watch it all undeterred because that's all I had to do in the hospital, man. It was awesome.
Hey, this is a preview for tomorrow. But tomorrow, our sports medicine, one of the things we're going to talk with Dr. Bates about, man, the NBA, have you heard? The NBA has commissioned a massive study on Achilles injuries. They're really perplexed. Wow. They had and we'll talk with Dr. Bates about this, and I want to find out what goes into a study, and what are some of the questions. I've got some. If I was running the commission on Achilles injuries, I would have several questions I would want answered data-wise. But the NBA, they're so frustrated right now. They had 7 major Achilles injuries this year. Now, obviously, Halliburton was the last one. Last year, the NBA said they had 0, and the most they've ever had. The NBA said, was 4. So they're about to commission a study trying to see, is there any type of correlation here? Is there anything that speaks to why they're having so many Achilles injuries?
It's like, and you look at it this way, especially Tyrese Halliburton, you look at it from like the heroic standpoint.
Yeah.
He's never going to get this chance again. Like, obviously there's a risk for every game that you play that a major injury can happen. It's just part of playing sports. But he had the best thing. The NBA don't got no chumps on Joe Schmo. Hey, I'm Doc. Sorry if I offend Doc Tony. sorry if I offend Doc Tony. If you know that reference, call me. I'm a lawyer. I'm real.
Nice.
But like, they got the best of the best and said, okay, if you make these adjustments, we don't think you'll tear your Achilles. And we need answers, man. And I know Dr. Bates will say there hasn't been a study like this that's coming up that's happened.
Well, start thinking, Patrick. And I've started thinking myself. Start thinking from you can ask for any type of. Hopefully, they've got data, but the data that I would want to ask about, I've got 4 or 5 things. Start thinking about what you would want to ask in a commission.
Okay.
I will tease this, Patrick. I would imagine that obviously this news is out. The NBA is about to commission a massive study. They want to see if there's any reason why these Achilles are happening. I will say this, Patrick. I think the basketball sneaker industry is going to want to pay attention to this.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think the sneaker industry is going to get a fine-tooth comb. You just wonder, are these sneakers now more fashion than safety, if I should say that? You know what I mean? I wonder.
Sadly, I don't think there's been enough Achilles injuries at this level yet to have the most definitive answer. But you're absolutely right, Terry. They're going to be listening. They're going to be keyed in on it. I wouldn't be surprised if these sneakers companies try to get somebody as an ambassador or something where they can stay directly connected, if not on that board.
And I love where you went right there. You got me thinking here too. I hope the NBA is big and strong enough to say no to, and I don't want to pick on Nike or Reebok or whoever.
You're right.
But I hope they're big. I hope they don't let Nike say, "Hey, NBA, we'll pay for the study." I don't want you paying for the study.
No.
That smells.
Good point. Great point there, Terry.
Yeah, that smells. Don't pay for it. We'll pay for it ourselves, Nike. I don't want you paying for it.
If you had a theory, a dumb guy theory like us with these Achilles injuries, I think my theory is maybe these guys are just playing too many games.
That's been talked about.
From high school, like up until this point, they've and basketball is not a mild workout.
No.
This is 82 games, and look, the guys that don't play, they got to run on the treadmill and get and they have to use that pregame warm up. That's their practice for the day. Like, these guys are moving and working, and then they off season playoffs. Not enough rest, man, to counteract that high activity level over and over and over again, and jumping and landing. Jumping and landing, that's like the worst to do that so many times for your body.
I think, and we'll get into this deeper tomorrow with Dr. Bates, but I love some of the things you said. I think now the basketball Achilles injury is the equal of it's the baseball Tommy John. I think it's Tommy John, and they've talked about the number of games, just the raw number of games might just be catching up.
Yeah, but that makes sense for baseball. Same argument. 162.
Too many
pitchers.
Too many miles on the arm.
How many days off do pitchers take from throwing a ball? I mean, completely not throwing a ball at all in 365 days.
Not many.
I guarantee you, they're throwing that ball over to over 250 days at least. That shoulder is not an elbow. They're not meant to. Nolan Ryan is the exception. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That guy was made for baseball.
Yeah. A lot of miles on those arms and those Achilles. But no, I'm looking forward to tomorrow discussing, what goes into. I've got 3 or 4 things. If I was running it, I would ask for, can you give me data on what position? I'm assuming guards have it more than power forward centers. What is their age? Is there an average age that the Achilles pops? Patrick, I did see this, and I don't want to give everything away for tomorrow. I did see this reading on this, that the majority of the 7, the previous Achilles injuries, a bunch of them have happened before the All-Star break, not after, meaning it wasn't like they were deep into their season.
Right.
But I would want to know, are there some telltale signs? And you said something good. I hate to admit this, but we may not have enough Achilles injuries to have enough studies.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I hate to say that.
Yeah. They can look back, but to the specifics of this study, I need to know who are the group of people they're going to study. Is it going to be just all NBA?
Yeah.
Or are you looking across all sport? Because I know this for sure. I don't know the exact number, but obviously basketball, more than 50% of their injuries are lower extremity.
You would think.
Down. Duh,
You would think. Pat, as we go to break, Pat, in your career, did you have any Achilles? Did you feel?
No.
I don't think you ever blew your Achilles, but did you ever feel a tingle down? Worry you at all, or no?
No. I had some pain kind of around it.
Yeah.
And obviously, because I know what an Achilles injury means, you have that fear. Oh snap! Is this something to do with my Achilles?
Yeah.
And they were, but they were close enough, kind of tendonitis that I was just like, oh man, like that happened to one of my teammates. One of my teammates, he actually the same way, calf strain, took some time off, came back, tore it, and he said it felt like, and everyone says this, it felt like someone kicked me.
Yeah. That's got to be scary when you had it.
Yeah.
When you had a little discomfort in that area, and you know that the Achilles is a nasty injury. That had to be scary. You know, you're like, oh my God, is this a warning sign? Am I supposed to get off my feet? You know,
right?
Whatever.
Well, this is the last thing I'll say on it, because the toughness of this all-time great athlete should never be forgotten. Kobe fucking Bryant.
Yeah.
Tore his Achilles. Got his butt up, wasn't crying. I'm not trying to disrespect these other guys that I don't know how bad your pain was, but he was not crying, or he walked up to that free throw line, bang.
I know.
Bang. Out of there.
And
Kobe freaking Bryant.
And everybody that's ever talked about having an Achilles rupture,
one of the greats, man.
They say, man, you've got to be helped off the court. You know?
Yeah.
And this guy goes.
Didn't Cooper Flag before the tournament? And he played one game in the ACC tournament. He had to get wheeled off on a
remember that,
on a wheelchair. Yeah.
He got carted off. Yeah, he really did.
Sure did.
He definitely did. All right, Pat, let's take
Thank
our
goodness
final break. If you could hang around, great. If not, we understand. We've got some baseball to talk about. We'll start slowly wrapping up a busy, quick moving Tuesday edition. The Young and Norvelle show continues after this timeout.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax Pal. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax Pal.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Here we go. Patrick Young during the break, cracking everybody up. Pat, you need to be a comedian, for God's sake. Welcome back. The Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here. And that guy right there, Patrick Young, joining us. Casey Kurtz making it all happen.
Casey put me on my videos. Yeah. If you can.
He wants to see his pretty face. Is that what you want to do, Pat?
Yes, sir.
Pat, you should have been a comedian, Patrick Young. You're funny during the break.
You know, it seems like comedians have had it pretty tough. For a little bit. I don't think I could take that.
Yeah, there you are. You know, I've over the years, I've jotted down a lot of comedy little things. I've never kind of worked out a routine, but I think
Terry, I think you could do really well.
I'd be a comedian. I'd be a good comedian.
I think you could. I think you could do really well, honestly.
Now we can't say this on Monday if he comes back on Monday, but I think I'm funnier than Mike Freed, our comedian, on Monday. I think I'm funnier. What do you think, Pat?
I think you got to be humble. You know, there's
I don't know what that word means.
There's a lot you don't know because Mike remember, Mike actually is going on the stage multiple times. I know, that's a big difference.
Hey, that's like when you go to a bar and karaoke starts. Before you make fun of them, hey, they got up there. I would never get up there.
They got up there. They knew what they brought to the table, and they knew it wasn't great, but they were bringing it with full force.
I'm going to do a little producing here if I can. Casey, I'm trying to get our countdown. I don't know if it's been reset, so if you can check on that, so I can know when to there we go. So I can know when to shut Patrick Young up. What are you eating there? What do you got? A little Slim Jim? What is that?
Yeah, it's crazy, man, by a company called First Form. This is sharp cheddar flavored, 20 grams of protein. It's so thick. This is like 3 Slim Jims in one.
Hey, be careful saying sharp cheddar too fast. That's a tough one, man. Sharp cheddar. Sharp cheddar. I've had those.
Okay.
I started buying those thick Slim Jims. They're good, man. Those are good. Really good. Have you seen the price tag on those, though?
Are these bad for us?
I don't think so. A little bit of
processed.
Yeah. Okay. It's good though, man.
Hey,
have you seen the?
We're all ticking away.
No doubt. Hey, have you seen the prices on those things? You could drop.
Yeah, they're expensive.
$6 on one of those.
They're expensive. Yeah, they are. But I mean, I think if you're a really on the go person, like I had a few of them just sitting here in the car with me. You know, sometimes I don't have time to get breakfast, or you know, from an appointment or not. This and having a protein shake, Terry.
Oh,
it'll hold you over for a little bit.
It will. It will. Hey, let me update. We've only got one Major League game going on in progress. We've got a bunch of rain delay postponements. The Yankees were leading Toronto 4-0 through 4. Don't look now. It's tied up at 4 now. Yankees at Toronto, 4 apiece. San Diego, Philadelphia postponed right now. Detroit, Washington postponed. Milwaukee and the Mets are postponed. Pat, let's go over some Major League Baseball, if you don't mind, real quick. Real quick. The Phillies are playing good ball. I know they got swept last weekend by the Astros, but the games were like 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Phillies playing good ball. They're back in first place. Boy, the Mets have hit a terrible patch. The Mets have lost 13 of 16. How about this, Patrick? Dang. The Mets over the weekend were swept by the Pirates. Number one, that's bad enough, right? The Pirates aren't very good. The Mets were swept by the Pirates, and Paul Skeens didn't pitch any of the games. They missed Paul Skeens.
Yeah, right.
That's bad. That is bad, man. The Mets were outscored 30-4.
It's mostly struggling this year with hitting.
Would
you say the Pirates are struggling? Their biggest struggle is their hitting.
Oh yeah, they can't score
runs.
They can't score runs. I mean, every time Paul Skeens takes the mound, he loses or has a no decision. They score 1 run for him. Astros playing good baseball. The Astros. Here's how you win it. And Casey, you can speak to this as well, being a baseball guy. In Major League Baseball, the formula, everybody's good, right? Everybody's good, pretty much, other than the Rockies. The formula in Major League Baseball is win the series, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. How about this? The Astros are undefeated in their last 11 series, meaning they haven't lost the series. That's how you win a lot of games in baseball. 2 out of 3.
That's big time.
2 out of 3. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
sure.
good ball, though. The team that's really hitting their stride right now, they're playing good ball right now. The LA Dodgers. I mean, they're beating good teams too. They're playing good. And Pat, don't look now. Your boy Ohtani, I think he's going to start going 5 innings soon. He's stretched it out to 2. All of a sudden, the Dodgers, it's like they got a trade. They got a brand new pitcher now in Ohtani off the bench now out of nowhere.
They got not a brand new pitcher. They got a ringer on the mound. Like, goodness gracious.
But we've got the trade deadline coming up. It's almost like the Dodgers have worked the trade because they got this big, strong right-hander named Ohtani that they didn't have to give up anything. He's already on the team. Boy, they're playing good.
Do either of you guys know, has there been an uptick maybe in the world of baseball, any level, because, let's make it broad, of more players pitching and hitting? Seriously pitching and hitting.
Yeah, Casey may have seen. I haven't seen a study. I would think it's slightly up though. The guy at Louisville did it. Obviously Ohtani. Casey, I don't know if you've seen anything. Has that new world pitching and hitting? Has that new world, festered now? I would imagine it has.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like if Travis Hunter can prove that he can play both sides, I bet you're going to have a lot more teams experimenting with that.
And there may be guys also that are doing it and then are failing, like Caglione. I mean, Caglione's struggling to hit right now. I don't think you'll ever see Caglione on the mound again. Do you? I think his pitching
crazy, man. Was he throwing 97, 98? Just
but can't throw strikes. Strikes. Casey, your thoughts on that? I think Caglione's seen his last day on the mound.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to pitch ever.
And he may see his last days in a major league batter's box if he doesn't get. He's in a 1-for-25 slump right now, batting about
one. Oh my goodness!
Like he's hitting like 170 right now, and
he didn't hit well. He didn't hit well when he started out in the minors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. And it's early. He obviously his upside is still projected high. But yeah, the Royals are in a weird spot, man. And Casey and I have been discussing this for a couple of weeks. They're 4.5 games behind the last wild card spot. They're not playing very well. They're about 7 games under 500. Do they sell and just say it's a throwaway year? Do they try and make a trade? Their biggest issue, they got no power. And Caglione has brought no power to them. Really struggling.
Man.
Really
Hey,
struggling.
I mean, just goes to show that that big jump from college to MLB, like it's very, very, very real. It's levels to this,
It's
man.
tough. It is definitely tough. You wonder, have the Braves now pretty much finished off this
hope
season?
so.
And I know we've got a whole second half, but boy, you look at the Braves. If they don't make a move, everybody's got about 12 games left before the All-Star break. The All-Star break comes up on July 15th. So everybody's got about 12 games left. If the Braves don't make some kind of move right now before the break, I think you can go ahead and start collecting the uniforms. They have their last 12 games before the break. They are home against the Angels, Los Angeles Angels. They're home against Baltimore. They're on the road at the Athletics. Right there, you got to win a lot of games. They really, out of those 9 games, they really need to go 7-2-ish. And then their final series before the All-Star break is at St. Louis. St. Louis is pretty good. But the Braves have 12 games left. Patrick, I'm going to say it now. The Braves would have to go about – they probably, in these last 12, they need to go 9-3 or so to even think about having a chance. It's just been a terrible –
I just don't think they've shown enough consistency.
Yeah.
I don't think they've gotten what they wanted out of Spencer Strider, and they've just had some games where, like, they give up too big of a lead, the pitching, and they just can't come back.
No. Very sporadic offense, and then their pitching, especially their mid-relief, has just been terrible. Just been terrible. For people that are just tuning in, though, the big news of the day in sports is from Wimbledon. The Wimbledon tournament just getting started. Coco Gauff, number 2 in the world, and I think the 2 seed in Wimbledon, knocked off by a Ukrainian unseeded player. So that's the big news. Pat, as I understand it now, the NBA free agency is open right now, right?
Yeah, dude. And speaking of something you talked about earlier, Damian Lillard got waived from the Bucks.
How about that? I think Lillard is one of those guys that had a recent Achilles as well.
Exactly. That's why he was
okay. That's where you're going. Yeah,
late in the season.
Ooh.
So obviously he's not going to play. It was right before the playoffs, man, or it might have been in the playoffs. It was around then.
Yeah, so that means he's done this coming season, no matter what, probably.
I would think so, unless what team? I don't know if the team would sign him right now. Like he can't play. Why would he take that?
Yeah.
But his leadership. You maybe think when he is healthy, he's going to he can be a veteran asset. He can really be a veteran asset.
Did you see where
SGA got paid? Jabari Smith Jr. He got paid. Auburn Tiger. Man, they're just throwing money. Dorian Finney-Smith, $53 million deal.
How about that? And is he with the Lakers now? No, he went to Houston, didn't he?
He went to Houston. He declined staying with the Lakers and went to Houston. Man, Houston's got KD. Holy crap.
And Finney-Smith's a pretty nice player. He's a good role piece.
Udonis Haslem was talking about him this morning or yesterday. He said, Dorian Finney-Smith, he doesn't need to have the ball in his hand to affect winning. Like, he can knock down that corner 3. He's a great defender. He's got size. Like, they're going to have a lot of guys that are ball heavy.
He was go ahead, Pat. I was going to say Dorian Finney-Smith. He was a good Gator. He was Florida for 2 years. He came from Virginia Tech. He had a nice 2 years at Florida. He was a good player. I thought Finney-Smith was a really good player. The other news out of the NBA, and I think we all knew it, or most NBA people did, LeBron coming back. What is it? Season 23? I think it is. I think his 23rd season, but LeBron, it looks like, will come back. You have to, you really want to need to think this through too. LeBron, this has got to be his final year. You would think this is his final year. What becomes of Bronny? What happens with Bronny when his dad is not hanging around helping him get a job? So there's a look at some Major League Baseball. Phillies playing really well. They've got a 2-game lead. Let's take a look at the standings real quick before we get out of here, as a lot of teams are trying to figure out what they're going to do with the second half. Are they in or out of the second half? The Phillies, even though they got swept by the Astros, they've been playing well. They've rebounded at a good time. Coincidentally, at the time, the Mets are really, really scuffling. Let's take a look at the National League first. In the East, Philadelphia now leading the NL East by 2 games now. Gosh, it seemed like just yesterday the Mets had a 3-game lead. So Philadelphia, 50 wins so far, just past the halfway point. The Mets, 2 games back. The Braves, don't look now, the Braves are 11 games back of the division lead. So they're not thinking division. They're thinking third wild card spot. But don't look now, the Marlins are a half game behind the Braves. The Braves are 11 out. The Marlins are 11 and a half. The Marlins are on a 7-game winning streak. They're 8-2 their last 10. They've won 7 in a row. So the Braves are in danger of, once again, they've been behind the Marlins a couple times this year. They're in danger of falling behind the Marlins, and that would make the wild card really, really tough. Cubs have had a wire-to-wire run. They lead a pretty stacked top half of the NL Central. The Cubs lead the Brewers by 2 games. The Cardinals are 3 games back. Cincinnati hanging around 5.5, but Cincinnati's thinking more wild card. The interesting division now is the Major League Baseball division that most people thought was the most competitive, the NL West, and it still may be, but the Dodgers are playing such good ball, 7-3 their last 10. The Dodgers, don't look now, but the Dodgers have carved out a 7.5-game lead over second-place San Diego and an 8-game lead over the Giants. And the strange thing is, as I get to the I want to get to the where the wild card stands now, because after the All-Star break, the wild card race really gets pertinent. It's really time to track it down. Let me get to the wild card race, because it was only probably 2 weeks ago that the National League wild card 3 teams, they looked like they were all going to come out of the NL West. But right now, if the season ended right now, Philadelphia wins their division in the NL. Chicago Cubs would win their division in the NL, and the Dodgers would win the West in the NL. But your 3 wildcard teams would be no one from the West. It looked like it was going to be Dodgers, Padres, Giants, and even maybe the Diamondbacks as the 3 wildcard. But right now, if the playoffs started today, your 3 National League wildcard teams would be the Mets. They're hanging on. The Milwaukee Brewers and St. Louis. So there's that NL Central. Milwaukee and St. Louis. San Diego. Now, there's a lot of baseball to be played, and I expect the Padres and the Giants to get up in there. But the Padres right now are 1 game back from making the playoffs as the 3rd wild card. The Giants are a game and a half back. So that West is still going to be something. By the way, the Braves, if you're wondering, obviously we've got a lot of Brave fans in our area. The Braves right now are 7.5 games out of the 3rd and final wild card. Man, it's going to be a tough second half. So what do we say? They're 11 out of the division and 7.5 out of the wild card. Now, with that, let's get back real quick. Just want to kind of start painting the picture of the first half of Major League Baseball as we're closing in. Let's take a look at the by the way, the Blue Jays have taken a 5-4 lead in the 7th on the Yankees. Boy, if Toronto hangs on and wins that game, the Blue Jays will be 1 behind the Yankees with a couple more to play with the Yankees. And then Tampa tonight at 7:05 is hosting the Athletics, a game that's certainly winnable. Tampa could close within a half a game of the Yankees. All right, let's take a look at the American League standings real quick before we get out of here, as we just did with the National League. American League East, the Yankees have really been front runners. They've been in the lead most of the first half of the season. Yankees lead with a 48-36 record. Tampa Bay, the Rays, play later tonight against the Athletics. They're a game and a half back. Toronto, who has a one-run lead on the Yankees right now, they're only 2 back. So we could have a swing here if Toronto holds on one, and if the Rays were to win their game a little bit later. In the Central, Detroit has really run away from this division from day one, the opening pitch. I think most people thought this was going to happen. Detroit, the Tigers, a really good team. Man, I watched them play Saturday. I think they hit 5 home runs and won their game on Saturday. But Detroit leading the AL Central by 11.5 games. 11.5 games over Cleveland. Minnesota, 12.5 back. The Royals, as we mentioned, well under 500 and 14 games behind in the Central. And quickly, the West, another unsung team that just all they do is win, the Houston Astros. They have caught earlier. The Mariners were way back leading this division. Houston has caught Seattle. As a matter of fact, the Astros have a 6-game lead on the Mariners as we move real quick to the wild card, see how things are stacking up. Wild card American League as we hit that. If the playoffs were to start today, you know the winners of the division I just went over. It would be the Yankees, the Tigers, and the Astros in the AL. Your 3 wild card teams. The Rays have a 2.5-game lead on the first wild card spot. The Blue Jays would qualify, and then Seattle. So that just goes to show you, boy, if the Rays and the Blue Jays are legit and halfway through the season they look legit, it's going to be a hell of a race in the American League East between Rays, Blue Jays, and Yankees. And, you know, I've been tracking my boy Caglione, who's struggling, and Kansas City, they are also struggling. The Royals, 39-46 overall. They are 5.5 games out. So, of the third wild card spot. So, if you're the Kansas City Royals front office, I mean, you want to win every game. But you also, you kind of want to, and this is pretty much true with most of these where are you franchises right now, this deep into the season, where are you? There's 12 games left. You almost would rather, if you're 5, 6, 7, 8 games out of the final wild card spot, you almost would rather go, in a weird way, 2-10 to know what you're going to do in the second half, buy, sell, develop, versus 5-5 or 6-6. You don't want to get caught in that no man's land because you've got a couple decisions to make if you're the front office of a major league team right now, in and around 500. Do you think you can do something to bolster your team or keep your team together right now and make a legitimate run at the third wild card? Or do you think you might want to sell off a player or two if you can get something, or use the second half to develop your farm players, your highest prospects? Tough call, but it has to be made every single season. All right, that'll just about wrap things up. Let's see where we're at and where we're going. We want to thank our good friends, as we do every Tuesday, our friends here at Hurricane Jointon Creek. You know, we're right at the foot of the Jointon Creek Bridge in the heart of Mandarin. Wonderful menu here. Starters for everybody if you want to just come in and eat light, have a few drinks, watch some ball. Wonderful sandwiches, steak Philly, a chicken sandwich, of course, on the menu, bacon avocado sandwich, chicken bacon avocado. My God, I've had that. It's good. Tons of tacos to choose from. Wonderful quesadillas, including my favorite, the Monterey chicken quesadilla here at Hurricane, and over 30 flavors if you want to go the wing route. Your biggest decision is what flavor or flavors to use when you order those wings. So we're wrapping up the Tuesday edition here of the Young Norvelle Show. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're back in the studio. We hope you can enjoy us from 4 to 6. Thursday, we are at Sliders on Thursday home, and then Friday back. Oh, actually, whoa. Friday, we are off, 4th of July. So Thursday at Sliders will be our final show this week. Hope you can join us today, or tomorrow, and Thursday for the final show this week. That'll just about wrap it up. Remember, rain, as always, is probably in the forecast as you're driving home. Be careful. I want to thank some people that made the show happen, our good friends here at Hurricane Jointon Creek. Of course, Josh and Callie, the owners and operators, for supporting our show. Casey Kurtz for hitting all the buttons and co-hosting a lot of times here on the program. Patrick Young checked in for about an hour and a half. We appreciate Patrick's time, of course, on his show, the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll get together tomorrow. A lot of baseball to talk about tomorrow on the program. Be interesting to see what happens with this Yankees game. And gosh darn, the Yankees, if they lose and Tampa wins, they will be almost in a three-way tie with their competitors in the NL East. Tomorrow, sports medicine discussion with Dr. Bates. We'll get deep into this NBA Achilles Commission study. The NBA is really trying to find out if there is a correlation with regard to all of the Achilles injuries that they've had. We're also going to talk about basketball shoes. Could the shoe manufacturers have something to do with this? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. That'll wrap it up. We'll get back together tomorrow, 4 o'clock, for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good. with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we are martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is out. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the